Once upon a time, there was a man who felt like he didn't deserve the very best that his hobby had to offer. Until one day, he woke up and realized he did. Welcome back to the channel. Before we get started, let me just remind you that if you would like to subscribe to this channel, I try to put out a video every week to 2 weeks on Monday morning now, and subscribing and hitting that notification button will let you know every time a new video comes out without having to wait for me to post something about it online. And if you hit the like button, that sort of, that just makes me feel better. So I have been looking for a lens for a while. I have the RF 15 to 35, and I have the 24 to 105, which I use a lot when I go out to do like waterfall photography, other kinds of photography where I'm going to be on a tripod. It is an f4 to f something, 6 point something. Great little lens. Love this lens. And then I also have the 24 to 240 to get that longer reach when I need it. Also, particularly for landscape photography, when I need to focus in on something that's a little farther away, excuse me, I'm an English teacher, I should know better. And so I have these two medium lenses, and my goal was to offset the 15 to 35. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me turn around here maybe into the light a little bit. 15 to 35. With the 70 to 200. So I had the 15 to 35, I had a couple of medium lenses, and then I wanted to go to the 70 to 200 f2.8. And then I decided not to go that direction. I've talked about this a time or two already on the channel, but several years ago I made a trip with EF Tours and our kids at the Ellen STEM Academy to Italy, and we went through Rome, we went through Assisi, and I have wanted to go back ever since. And 2 years ago, I had a trip planned, and 2 weeks before I was scheduled to leave, COVID shut down the airlines, and I did not get to go. And of course, last year, did not get to go. So, or this year rather. So I have set up reservations for March. of 2022 with the understanding that we will finally have at least some of this under control, maybe, and I'll be able to make that trip. And so as I was thinking about what is the most important thing that I'm going to need on this trip, I realized I needed a really fast medium length lens rather than the longer lens. So I was looking at the 24-70 f2.8 because that lens was also on my list to buy in that holy trinity of lenses. And I put a notice out on an EOS R group on Facebook saying, look, should I get this 2.8? Should I get the 28-70 f2? One's really expensive, the other one's sort of expensive, one's really heavy, one's not so heavy, and then I also asked a photographer friend of mine, Stephanie Richer, that I just really, really, really love and respect. And she was like, go for the f2. You want the f2. So, as a result, I bought this little baby right here. And I am so happy that I did. So, the 28-70 is not quite as wide as the 24, but it's close. But what this does give me is one extra stop of light. So as I'm going through a very expensive tour that I've set up for the Vatican Museums and St. Paul's, I want to be able to capture those images with the least amount of noise possible. And the f2 is just absolutely remarkable. Now, there are some things that are drawbacks to this lens, so let's talk about those up front. First of all, when I compare it to the 15-35, you can see that it is quite a bit bigger and it is quite a bit heavier. This lens is almost 3.5 pounds, and carrying that around all day could be a problem until, I start to do some working out, build up these guns a little bit, because they're really more like rubber bands at the moment, and start to use this on a regular basis. So that's one of the reasons why I bought it now. The other drawback, of course, is that there is no stabilization inside the lens. I have stabilization in the camera, and what I've found so far is I don't need the stabilization. Maybe if I was doing video, that might be more important to me, but the images that I'm getting with this right now, just out of the box, are not bad. So I'm happy with that. The other downside is this is a 95mm thread. And if I needed to put neutral density filters on or a variable neutral density filter on, they don't make many of those and they're very, very expensive. Now, I did not buy this lens to need to put on a filter. If I wanted to go out and shoot landscape photography, I'm probably not taking this lens. So I'm taking this lens primarily for handheld, low light situations or portrait situations where I want to get a really, really good depth of field in the background. So I took this lens out for a little bit and I'll just kind of cycle through some images here. And the first thing I did was the day that I got it, or the day after I got it, I was staying after school for a volleyball game, girls volleyball game, so I took it to the volleyball game. Most of these images are shot at 70mm. And for volleyball or basketball, the 70mm is probably a long enough lens to reach what I need to reach in order to get all of the action. I just set the shutter, I set it on manual. I set the shutter speed at 1,000th of a second, and I put the aperture at f2, and I just put the ISO on auto. And so it just went where it went. And the images, most of the images turned out really good and sharp. A couple of images, or more than a couple, I didn't get the focus right. That was on me, it wasn't on the lens. And so I was pretty pleased overall with the way this lens performed inside a gymnasium with fast action. Especially at f.2, which is a very razor thin depth of field. And so then I took it to the Chattanooga market. That's one of my favorite places to go to try out a lens. It's kind of dark in there. There's no real bright light anywhere unless you're outside. And so I set it up at f2, and for some of these pictures, I just put a focus point that I chose. And then for a few, I also put on the auto tracking eye focus with a servo setting, and it focused really, really fast on the eye of several people. Now, these are not the most interesting pictures you're ever going to see, but I was trying to get depth of field, what was focus going to be like, how hard was it going to be. And one of the things I did there, I came across this little bit of purple flowering, and so I set up one shot. I'll put it up here. I set up one shot at f5.6, which is what most of my lenses would be shooting at, and what I typically shoot at if I'm doing portrait photography or things, because I don't trust my focus. Now, that was before I had the auto tracking eye focus. I trust it very much now. And then I opened it up to 2.8, and you can see the difference in the background. But then I opened it up to f2. And not only is the background much smoother and, as YouTubers like to say, very buttery in the background, but it also cut my ISO in half because of that extra stop of light, which means that I will have less noise to deal with in any of the pictures that I take at f2 than I would at f2.8. Now, both of those apertures would work fairly well. And so then I took it to school one day with me with the twins, and I decided that I would try to get some pictures downtown Knoxville with some light in the background to see what bokeh would look like. And then I walked into a classroom and saw that there was all these lights hanging down a wall. And so I just said, when's your planning period? I'm coming back. So I went and I set up the twins on a tabletop, took a picture at f2.8. Now you can see the bokeh is beautiful. It's nice and round. It's very much out of focus. And this was an automatic eye focus on the one on the right. And then I took another shot at f2, and you can see that the background is much smoother, but also sort of on the outer edges, those round light bulbs sort of started getting oval shape. So it loses a little bit of its shape at f2. Not anything that I'm going to worry about. So just out of the box, taking it out, using it a couple of different days on different kinds of things, I am absolutely in love with this lens. Now, what I was thinking about doing was getting the 70 to 200 f2.8, and then later getting the 24 to 72.8, and then later on still maybe getting the 35mm prime at 1.8 and the 50mm prime at, actually I have that lens I think at f1.8. Because this is the only telephoto lens that shoots at f2, I can replace a number of other lenses. Now, this lens is not cheap. This is almost an entire month's salary for me to get this lens, and that's why it's one of the reasons why it's so special to me. And I now refer to it lovingly as my precious. It's $3,000 plus taxes plus shipping, but because I can replace some other lenses with it, and I can use it in even less well-lit places, this lens is, I think for me, is going to be well worth the money spent. Now, one of the things that I mentioned up front at the introduction of this video is I have always felt that I wasn't good enough as a photographer to buy these really expensive lenses. And so when I first started and I was using the D40 and then the 70, I was buying EFS lenses in order to save myself some money. That was a mistake. I should have bought the EF lenses up front for two reasons. One is because only the EF lenses will fit on my Viltrox adapter for my M50, which gives me a full frame equivalent of whatever lens I have. So an 85mm EF lens would give me a full frame 85mm lens using the Viltrox speed booster on my Canon M50. That's important. The other reason is because the EF lenses are full frame lenses. They will also fit on an adapter on my EOS R. The problem is I don't have many of those. And so I have these EFS lenses now that it didn't cost me a lot of money to get, but they are basically useless to me at the moment. So I'm just slowly sort of getting them out of my way. For me, I think the RF 28-70 was a really, really good buy. But we'll do another video down the road after I've had a chance to use it for 2 or 3 months in very different kinds of settings. And we'll come back and we'll talk about it again. So until next time, be sure and hit the like button. Be sure and subscribe. Ring the bell. We'll see you next week.